A new arch above Waynesville now welcomes folks to the town. Although the structure is new, it's got historic ties dating back almost 100 years. News 13's Taylor Thompson has the story.
This spot is where the groundbreaking took place for the Waynesville Arch, with the plan to bring the town's recognition back to being the gateway to the Smokies. The historic Waynesville Arch getting ready to make its comeback on Main Street.
The original arch was there from 1933 until 1972.
While it was taken down due to wear and tear, lifelong resident Joyce Massey says it played a huge role in her life growing up.
We only came to town once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks to get groceries. When I saw the arch, I knew I was here.
A member of the Downtown Waynesville Association, Massey says they began talking about bringing the arch back in 2021, and to her that meant bringing back a piece of her childhood.
It meant a nickel or a dime from Daddy to get candy at Lay's. I mean, everything was Waynesville, and everything about it to me was pretty golden.
A project at the center of many residents' hearts.
Like a way to bring a little history back to the Main Street in Waynesville.
Even after gaining approval from the DOT to build the arch, Councilmember John Feitzer says there are still some hurdles to overcome as they realized it was going to have to be built differently than expected.
It had to be constructed out of steel. It took the price from $75,000 to $175,000.
That's where the call to the community began, and Feitzer says donations have been pouring in.
It's been really gratifying to see the community kind of rally around this.
He says they're close to their goal, but hoping Saturday's groundbreaking will help them get to where they feel safe to make a down payment for construction to begin.
From the moment they get our down payment and start fabrication, they tell us it's about 4 months.
And we just want to remind everybody, this is little old Waynesville, a community of people that care about each other and our unity together.
And for more information on how you can donate to help fund the Waynesville Arch, you can head on over to our website at WLOS.com.
Speed becoming a growing issue for one Asheville neighborhood. Residents there telling News 13's Taylor Thompson they're concerned someone or something will get hurt.
Those who live here on Shady Oak are asking drivers passing through to slow down, as they have an obligation not only to residents but to bears too. Ignoring stop signs, speed limits, and concern for others, that's what residents say they're increasingly dealing with on their street.
People just tend to speed down the hill. I mean, in the morning when the school buses, they drive down here just as fast as everybody else does.
Scott Hubner has lived on Shady Oak for the last 16 years.
Pretty sleepy for most of the time, and then as development has increased and hotels have increased, this road just has gotten more traffic.
He believes this is mainly due to their street serving as a cut-through to Hendersonville Road.
There's just inherent impact on the neighbors who live near that development.
Hubner, speaking on behalf of many residents, saying they're not against development coming to Asheville, but it shouldn't come at the cost of safety.
We like to walk on these streets, and this is a very pedestrian-friendly neighborhood, and we don't want to have to give that up. It only takes a few additional cars speeding on the road to make a difference.
The increase in traffic affecting more than just residents.
Bears have been here for, well, so long before we've been here.
Hubner saying they see a lot of bear activity in the neighborhood.
We've had some sleeping in trees across the street and walking down our sidewalk here, and so they're sort of our neighbors as well.
Jody Williams, founder of Help Asheville Bear, says it's the time of year where he's receiving at times 10 calls a day involving bears being hit in residential areas.
They're only doing what they're supposed to do, follow the nose and survive. And the traffic around here too is a big thing. People need to slow down. Everybody knows how many people are around Asheville nowadays, especially on these side roads. People don't follow the speed limit.
Williams emphasizing Hubner's desire for people to slow down, as it's more than just neighbors who could pay the price.
The bear's not crossing the road. Our road's crossing the bear's forest.
And while Hubner says they haven't taken any of their concerns to the city yet, if traffic continues to increase like it has been, it may be their next step.
A man says his business is owed hundreds of thousands of dollars from Made by the Water, the parent company of Catawba Brewing.
It's a battle he says he has been waging for months. News 13's Taylor Thompson tells us he's wondering if his money will ever be recovered.
More than $103,000 is what the owner of Top Line Trucking says he's owed by the brewery. Ricky McKinney, owner of Top Line Trucking, says his business began doing work for Catawba Brewing a little over a year ago.
Made by the Water bought Catawba out, so we kept on our contract and hauling, and as we kept on, the invoices wasn't getting paid.
Those unpaid invoices adding up to $103,274.45.
They kept promising to pay us, and then eventually they walked in the Morganton location and just shut it down overnight. We went in to do our normal hauls, and they said, we're shutting the facility down, get your equipment and stuff, and we're done here.
This shutdown occurred back in January. A month later, McKinney receives this email from the company saying they have every confidence they'll begin paying for services.
It was promise after promise, and never did get paid.
Catawba then continued with shutting down their Charlotte and Wilmington locations. McKinney says they were then told the company was going to audit their business.
And sent an email stating the audit was good, everything went good, and they understood they owed the bill, but they couldn't pay it at the time. And then the box truck happened.
During all of this, McKinney still had one of Catawba's trucks.
We did a bunch of work to it, and they promised if I took the box truck back to their location in Asheville, they would pay me the $100 and some thousand they owed me.
Instead, McKinney says that taking the truck back was the last form of contact he ever had with the company.
We have all our documents stating we've got all the runs and all the what they owe us, legit on paper. They did an audit themselves, and it's 100% they owe me the money. They just won't pay it.
We reached out to the parent company, and a representative tells me, and I quote, "There are disputes on the top line bills that have not been resolved between the parties, which is why it remains outstanding."